This video is brought to you by the Rugged Reserve 6-in-1 Emergency Survival Car Charger. It has this ridiculously bright flashlight. You can break a window with this thing. You can cut your seatbelt with it. But one of the coolest features is you can unplug it from your cigarette lighter and it serves as a power bank where you can actually charge your cell phone with it up to a 100% charge. Grab one or two from the link in the description below and take an additional 10% off with my coupon code. This thing is flat out badass. Somebody sent me this video, I watched it, and I gotta tell you, I freaking love this guy. His name is Dan Bidandi from the Truth Radio Show. I agree with the main tenor of what he's trying to convey. His basic message is, these are our guns, and you can make all the laws you want, you're not gonna take them. But in the interest of genuine individual liberty, let's go through this and get some third-person perspective.
Thank you, sir. Good evening and welcome.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak, but what I want to say is going to be very extremely serious, and I need the attention of everybody here because I grew up here in Rhode Island. My family dates back all the way to the Revolutionary War. I had family who fought with George Washington in the Revolution, and I know American history very well, extremely well. Grew up with everybody in my house had guns, military and everything, and as a young age, I knew how to field strip a weapon and knew how to respect the weapon.
So far, he's right. We got this whole cadre of zombie nitwits out there, not only willing to give up their firearms, if they had any in the first place, but they have the gall to demand that everybody else give up theirs as well. All under the guise of keeping us safe or keeping the children safe. It's utter insanity.
But that being said, what disgusts me the most, and please do not take any this personal, but what disgusts me the most is Benjamin Franklin said that those who would give up their essential liberties to obtain any kind of security would get or deserve neither. Now we have Americans, people who dare to call themselves Americans, to say, I'm willing to give up my Second Amendment to keep us safe. Who's going to keep us safe from the government? I want you senators there, please, answer me this question. Who's going to keep, if I own an AR-15, and so does about 2,000 people that came here tonight. Who's going to, if we have to turn in our weapons, right, who's going to protect us from the government? If one day they to become rogue. Could you answer that, please?
The suggestion that the government will one day become rogue misses the mark of what's actually happening. Our government is and has been rogue for a long time. Our own government paved the way for the creation of the warmongering Federal Reserve. Our own government issued Executive Order 6102, which threatened people with a heavy fine and imprisonment if people didn't turn in their gold. Our government led us into long, costly, and bloody wars. Our government instituted the domestic terrorist cell known as the IRS. Our government plunders us every day of the week through income tax, property tax, excise tax, estate tax, and more taxes than you can even list. Our government initiated Fourth Amendment trampling radiation and molestation practices on every single person who wants to board a departing flight, and the list goes on and on. Now, I understand the spirit of what Dan's trying to say here, but our government has been rogue for a long time.
If we were to turn in our weapons, who's going to protect us from our own government? That's what the number one reason, and I could debate anybody right now, okay, the number one reason the Second Amendment was established, not for duck hunting, okay? It was to protect we the people from our own government if one day they were able to become rogue.
Again, our government is rogue, but he's right about the establishment of the Second Amendment. It was an attempt to preserve the people's right to powerfully resist their government. And that's why shall not be infringed should include any weapon the government has. Tanks, drones, semi-autos, full autos, grenade launchers, whatever the government has, we can have without somebody coming along thinking they have the right to infringe on our desire to accumulate an arsenal.
Because the Founding Fathers seen the monarchy systems will happen all over Europe and everything else, and they warned us. So these days, what's happening here now is we have some politicians who hijacked the term politician. They sit there, when you got into office, like I ran for office myself, but when you got into office, okay, you served in the military, anything, you sit there with your hand up. You're swearing an oath to the Constitution for the United States of America. And you have politicians who've done this, but dare to put garbage like this to make possession of use of a semi-automatic weapon and rapid fire up to 10 years in prison. Are you kidding me? For law-abiding citizens, you're going to tell me my 30-round magazine, my AR-15 is going to land me in jail if this damn bill passes?
Again, I understand what he's trying to say here, but we need to rethink this law-abiding citizen argument. First, the term citizen literally means a legally recognized subject or national of a state or commonwealth, either native or naturalized. Legally recognized subject? Are you a subject? If so, who are you subject to? Do you need another man or group of men to legally recognize you? How about the term law-abiding? We all know that man-made laws are nothing more or less than the written opinion of politicians backed by the threat of force. If you break a law, in most cases, you have not committed a crime. You just chose not to do what a politician said to do, or you chose to do what a politician told you not to do. Obeying a law doesn't make you good, and breaking a law doesn't make you bad. If you own a bag of weed and a politician commanded you not to own it, are you really doing wrong? Are you a bad person? If you're feeding homeless people in a certain county in Florida, in spite of the fact that the politicians down there said it's illegal to do so, you're not a law abider in that case. Does that make you evil for breaking that stupid law? We need to think twice before we call ourselves law-abiding citizens. Because when I see that term, I think politician obeying subjects. And that's not a good look on anybody.
I'm a law-abiding citizen, okay? And I just want to make this, I want to put this state on notice, okay? The state has no jurisdiction nor authority to make such laws because the Constitution clearly says, okay? Any law that's repugnant to the Constitution is null and void. That means I don't care if this bill passes, you can pass all you want, I am not going to comply. And over my dead body from my cold dead hands does anybody get my firearms.
Other than the law-abiding citizen part on that, what if we all had that attitude of defiance toward our government? It'd be an awesome day of liberty.
My founding fathers, my ancestors fought for the civil liberties that you all have. The only thing that keeps us all free here, your freedom of speech, freedom of this and all that, is the people's right to keep and bear arms. You remember that, 1900s, for the whole century, hundreds of millions of people died because of gun control. Every one of those kids that died in those schools, their blood is on the hands of the gun control.
He's right. Gun control is simply a crafty euphemism for people control. The governments control the people, take their guns, gain more power over them, and leave them as helpless victims.
Because if those teachers, those people had the right to defend themselves, they'd all be alive today, and everybody knows that. We know it's nothing to do with control, okay, over guns. It's control over the population. We had people since the founding fathers to modern days through history warning us of this communist agenda to mislead the children in schools, manipulating these poor children, exploiting them to come up here to testify. Oh, take the guns, please. And these poor kids don't know history.
I agree with everything he's saying here. And because people have been so brainwashed, they look at what he's saying and launch a conspiracy theorist ad hominem in order to discredit the truth he's trying to speak.
They don't know history. They don't know the importance of we the people to keep and bear arms. We are the power, okay? We elect you to represent us, the people.
And that is the mentality we all need to move away from. Psychopaths used to be put away in mental institutions. Well, not only have the mentally deranged escaped from their padded cells, we now elect them to office. We need to stop this insanity and stop believing that we need a ruler to make rules for the rest of us and then punish us if we don't comply. No one on this planet has a higher claim over your life and property than you. If you really believe that, then you'd stop believing in the misguided concept of authoritarianism or government.
No, you talk about numbers, okay? I got it right here on video. I had made several videos. I reached more people than WPRI Channel 12 ever could dream of. And I got on numbers here. When I come to the State House last week when they had the rally for the gun control, maybe about 200 people. I come here today, right on the third floor here, double that, just on the third floor alone, than what they had. We had, there was a report about 3,000 people came here. 99% of that was gun supporters, gun rights supporters. And it's not even counting the people. And the other side, they had to bust people in from other states. We didn't do that. They were all Rhode Islanders there. And plain and simple, we're sick of the garbage. Plain and simple, we want to put you on notice. We elected you to abide by the law. That's the Constitution, not your corporate people, not your lobbyists and all that. the Constitution of the United States and get it through your heads that the Second Amendment, okay, in our Rhode Island State Constitution says the right to bear arms shall not be infringed. And there's nobody's jurisdiction or power to override that. I don't care what manipulation, who went to Harvard Law School, whatever. The Constitution is plain as day. We don't need interpretations.
This is just true. I can't think of anything more clear than the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. But your right doesn't come from the Second Amendment. If your right does come from the Second Amendment, what happens one day when they decide to alter or abolish it? Does your right disappear? That's ludicrous. Your right to defend yourself by any means necessary comes from the fact that you're a human being, and the fact that no other human being has the right to intervene in your life and tell you what to do or tell you what you can or can't own. And they certainly don't have the right to help themselves to your property. As Lysander Spooner rightly pointed out, whether the Constitution really be one thing or another, this much is certain. It has either authorized such a government as we've had, or has been powerless to prevent it. In either case, it is unfit to exist. In other words, this piece of paper didn't authorize this tyrannical government, but it also couldn't stop it. So what good has it been?
Okay, the Founding Fathers made that quite clear, and I challenge anybody to read the Founding Fathers' writings. Very important how this is going on, because if we turn in our firearms today, because what's going to happen, if that bill passes, I'm telling you right now, you're going to start a revolution. Plain and simple, Rhode Island was the first state that declared its independence against Britain because they were sick and tired of the garbage. The British wanted our guns. The British wanted us to force a state religion down our throats, taxation without representation. The same stuff, the same garbage, the globalist garbage that's going on here right in the state of Rhode Island. And we're sick of it, and we're going to stand up against it. And what I'm telling you right now, you got to turn thousands of Rhode Islanders into criminals overnight.
And that's exactly what a so-called man-made law does. The rulemaking class fictitiously creates a law-breaking criminal class for two purposes: control and revenue generation. Whereas in the real world, a criminal is someone who actually leaves an injured party. Oh yeah, and the colonists, they revolted against the crown for way less than what we're rolling over for and dealing with today.
And I know I'm going to get the attention of every one of you, okay? God bless every one of you who support the Constitution. I'm behind you 100%.
How about God bless everyone who doesn't initiate unjust force, violence, and theft on peaceful people? That's the issue here, not whether somebody abides by a piece of paper.
But for you, those who don't, and I'm telling you right now, if this bill passes, I will run for office, and I will see to the end of my days that everybody who pushed these strict draconian gun laws, that will be trial for treason. This is pure treason. And I'm telling you right now, if the Founding Fathers came alive today, what's going on right now, there will be a revolution tomorrow. Plain and simple. And people need to understand that. You need to stop saying, oh, we got to be like Connecticut. We got to be like Massachusetts. We got to be like Australia. Oh, we got to be like this one. No, we got to be like Rhode Island. We have a great law enforcement unit called the Rhode Island State Police. They are on top of things. That's why we don't have mass shootings. Now, I'm not saying it can't happen here, but they are on top of things. We've got an awesome law enforcement agency. We got awesome Rhode Islanders who respect the law, like myself, thousands of gun owners. How many gun clubs here in Rhode Island? How many gun shops here in Rhode Island? Democrats, Republicans, of all parties love the Second Amendment here in Rhode Island. That's why we've been holding gun control back for a while. And in regards to the lying polls, okay, of the Pro-Joe, all polls show, even David Cicilline's polls, that at least 70% of Rhode Islanders do not think more gun control is going to work. I could go on all day with stats, but it's not about stats here. It's about the Constitution.
It's really not about stats, and it's not about the Constitution either. Stats can swing against you, and the Constitution can be and is disregarded or amended by government officials. This is about the way one human being should treat another human being.
For anybody right now to say, I'm going to give up my civil liberties that my ancestors fought for, your ancestors fought for, oh, let's let the government protect us and hope and pray that somebody doesn't come in our school. No, I don't think so. We're not going to allow it. We the people are not going to allow it, and we're not going to stand for it. And I need to put the entire state on notice about it. And I don't care what kind of I don't care if it's the federal government, the state authorities, whatever. Nobody at all is taking our firearms. 1776 will begin again if anybody dares to try to touch our firearms.
That line worked for Alex Jones, and it works for this guy.
The tyrants did it. Hitler took the guns. Stalin took the guns. Mao took the guns. Fidel Castro took the guns. 1776 will commence again if you try to take the firearms. We will not relinquish them. Do you understand? The Republic will rise again. Don't try what your ancestors did before.
I thought I'd throw that in there for you guys as a bonus.
And this is a serious matter, and you people need to understand this, okay? And I'm sick of people like Josh Miller and all that sitting there laughing because we got a Second Amendment, laughing, oh, look at those gun supporters, okay? Because you never need to ever take us serious. We're out there, every time there's gun rallies, we quadruple the opposition. Quadruple that.
Before today, quadruple was not a word, but I'm going to start using it. And he's right. Threats, force, violence, and theft on Americans by politicians is not a joking matter. Politicians are and have been criminals and should be charged as such.
And it's pure sick and disgusting. I gotta sit here and do this, okay? I've been here since probably like 12 o'clock today, and I'm fed up, okay? And I teach my son American history as well. And what's gonna happen when he grows up to be my age? We used to have a Second Amendment, but the cowards called Americans gave that right up.
And this is why it's dangerous to put all your weight behind a written document. The answer is to firmly establish in the minds of every man, woman, and child that it's never right to initiate unjust force and violence on a peaceful person who hasn't done anything wrong. This should never be tolerated.
Okay, now Founding Fathers warned us against this, okay? So I don't care if you're a Republican, Democrat, I'm an independent, okay? I support you. No, I don't care what party you are. You support the Constitution, I'm behind you 100%. But this needs to be understood, and it's not about political parties, okay? The NRA, that's the limit of the argument. Let's blame the NRA. They teach nothing but gun safety.
Actually, and I've done a couple well-documented videos on this, the NRA is responsible for bringing into existence the NICS Instant Background Check System, which is a definite infringement no matter how you look at it.
The best kept secret is that the National Instant Check System wouldn't exist at all if it weren't for the NRA.
What the hell did you just say?
The best kept secret is that the National Instant Check System wouldn't exist at all if it weren't for the NRA.
It's true. Back in the 90s, President Clinton forced passage of a mandatory waiting period on every handgun purchased in America. Not a background check, a wait. But NRA said as soon as the technology was available, their wait had to be replaced by an instant background check done by the dealer at the point of sale. NRA supported it, NRA got the votes, and NRA got it passed.
If you're looking for a pure gun rights group that's serious about shall not be infringed, I'd be looking at Gun Owners of America.
And it's not even, there's millions, hundreds of millions of Americans that do own firearms that are not part of the NRA. You know, we are not criminals, okay? All these gun control laws do is say, oh, let's ban the weapons because, oh yeah, criminals are gonna follow that, right? I mean, are you serious? Eric Holder, the Attorney General, a former Attorney General, he stated, we got to brainwash the American people, and you can find that comment right on your phone. Brainwash the American people to think guns are bad. They are openly declaring war on the American people. This is a globalist agenda. The United Nations meets every year. Their number one goal is disarm the American people. That's a communist manifesto agenda. The things our founding fathers will warn us about. People like JFK, all our great presidents we had warned us about this stuff. So you people really need to understand and listen to this because, frankly, we could be here all night. I'm a talk show host. I could talk for hours. I could hold this place up for days if I have to.
You're not
days.
doing that tonight, Dwight.
No. But, and I don't mean any disrespect to anybody out there, any politicians, but please, you know, our Constitution is the most sacred thing. And I understand nobody, I cried too when those kids died. We all did. And I'm sure both sides here could agree with that. It's not the guns, okay? It's the people. It's when you took the Second Amendment away, that's when all hell broke loose. Nobody could defend themselves. And no, nobody wants to go shooting up the place like the Wild West. I owned a gun since I was 16 years old. And not once did I even think of turning that gun on somebody. And I don't care if it's my opposition, if somebody hates me. If I see their life in danger, I'm going to stand there and protect them and risk my life to protect them as well. You know what I mean? That's the mentality of all those people who own weapons and love the Second Amendment. We love everybody, even my opposition right here. You know, I would protect them with my life if I had to, and their children. You know what I mean? We need to come together as Americans, not Republicans and Democrats, as Americans, under the Constitution, on the side, there's the line right there, on the side of General George Washington, President George Washington, Thomas Paine and Paul Revere and all them. We need to stay on that side. Never mind this garbage here. We need to give up the civil liberties, because that's a pure coward right there. And I'm about done. I just encourage you to stand for the Constitution and the American people, because we will resist any laws, I'm telling you right now. And those of you who do vote for this bill, these bills, one way or another, make no mistake about it, we the people, that's what who has the power, we the people make sure those people will be held accountable before treason. And that needs to be understood and understood, because people thought we were a joke back in 1775. Thought we were a big joke, a little percent, 2 or 3% of people, they're nothing. We beat the world's strongest army, the most armed army, and today we have in this country well over 60-70% of America that is ticked off and awake right now. So we are that close, and nobody wants that. We want to do this civilly, like we're doing here, all of us meeting together, talking civilly, but we need to understand the Constitution comes first, and when you start tampering the Second Amendment, like you've been doing, that's why all hell is breaking loose. And when you learn to lead, like, you have a right to bear arms, you have a right to bear arms, all of you do. Who the heck is the state to say you can't? That's not what the Constitution says. The state does what we tell you to do. Plain and simple. We elect you, we are the people, we're the bosses. You do what the majority does, and clearly, and I got it on video and everything, clearly, we are the majority here. We just want to be left alone. We're law-abiding citizens, and like hell and over dead bodies, we will ever give up our firearms.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments for this witness? Thank you.
If you do have questions or comments for Dan or myself, leave them in the comment section below. Guys, I appreciate you watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Guys, I don't know how much longer my channel will be around here on YouTube. Please take a minute and sign up to my email list. It's free, painless, and you'll get some cool stuff. Also, take another minute to subscribe to my decentralized, censorship-free BitChute and Steemit channels. All these links are in the description. I want you to know this: if my channel goes down, I'll still produce content for you guys through my website and through BitChute and Steemit. So make sure you stay connected through the email subscription link in the description below. Just watch the 45-second video on my website and you'll be all set. If you want to support my work on this channel, grab a shirt, snag a flashlight, or hit me up on Patreon and PayPal. I'll see you guys in the next video. Before you go, check out one of the most in-your-face, hard-hitting, conversation-starting shirt stores on the planet. Just by wearing one of these t-shirts, hoodies, tank tops, or cutoffs, and without saying a word, you can let people know that black rifles matter. You can inform the sleeping masses that fluoride is dumbing them down, that Google is a gulag-style censorship machine, that the Department of Homeland Security is merely security theater, that the NSA makes your private life their business, that the Grim Reaper supports everyone's troops, that we need to legalize freedom, that in life there are no excuses, that CNN is a communist news network, voting is the suggestion box of slaves, that 9/11 was a lie, and that all official stories should be questioned. Also, let people know we're in the middle of a full-blown sheepvolution, taxation is theft, the IRS is an immoral robbery service, cops enjoy protecting and serving the crap out of you, that the space you occupy is not a gun-free zone, and that gun-free zones are the most dangerous places on earth. Your purchase helps support more hard-hitting content on my censored channel. As of the recording of this video, I have over 90 designs. I take your requests for new designs, and I'm adding new ones every week, so check back often. The link to the store is in the description. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.